So you got involved in portraits, you know, at Mile of Music. How far into, was that 2015? Was that the first time you did that?
Yeah, well, it was Mile 2. Because the first Mile of Music, I'm like, this is stupid. Because I never went to it. I just had like an opinion. I was all grumpy.
Where are all the metal bands?
Yeah, where are all the metal bands? Which is an interesting story too. I'll get to in a second. But yeah, we so I was just it was the second Mile, and we partnered with John Adams from Feather and Bone, and we went into the space and got this awesome warehouse space, and you know, I wanted to shoot artist portraits because I knew there were cool people coming through, and I just happened to get Langhorne Slim and Richie Ramone. Partied with Richie Ramone.
That's pretty cool.
And it was a crazy experience. And after that, we saw at the end how much those pictures meant to other bands and musicians to be able to do those portraits for free. And it made a huge impact. And it just took off from there. And to where we are now, which this last year, we just did it in our studio because we couldn't find a space. And normally we always like to have our own unique space for that because it's experiential, like anything we do. But we couldn't find a space because it wasn't available. Because normally we get a space donated to us. And for several years we had so many great people who'd come. And it usually has to be on the Ave, can't be something crazy. But we set up in our studio last year. But metal bands on Mile of Metal. That's it. Chris Gold says all the time, Mile of Metal. I actually one year reached out to Norma Jean to see what would it take for you to come here. I talked to Corey, the singer. Like, what would it take for you guys to come to Mile of Music and play a show and just disrupt the whole thing? Throw a wrench in the whole thing, but it's too expensive.
Oh, that's too bad.
He's a great guy, great friend, but then, I think this coming year, if we get a space, we have it's gonna be a good one. Hopefully, we'll have.
Do you normally get a chance to talk to any of these artists? Did a lot of the artists hang out, at the venue that you've got?
Yeah, normally I reach out to so in years past, their welcome packet through Mile,
There'd be something in there.
Yep. I stopped doing that. Maybe next year, especially if we get a space, I'll do that or see if I can do that.
Just the quantity, I know at one point you said we're taking portraits of people we haven't taken portraits of because you must be taking thousands of pictures.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because sometimes it can. In some of those years, it got really overwhelming, and then some years you get, because generally I like to either, look at, new faces or people I haven't worked with in maybe a few years. And then if it's the same thing over and over again, it just gets, I want to put that, I want to see those new faces, meet those new artists and give new opportunities to people. And sometimes it would get overwhelming. But last year, because we were based in my studio down the flats, I just would reach out. I'd go through the Mile Music playlist, oh, this person has great sound. And, I would reach out to them specifically. And so we had those opportunities and got a few cool folks in. But I mean, putting yourself out there, asked me that, 20 years ago, never would have done it. But now it's just part of that experience.
When the portraits go out, of course, everybody loves them and wants to use them on everything. Do you have any feelings either way towards all these pictures all of a sudden being used on flyers and promotions?
I think that's what it's for, though.
Okay.
I'm at peace with that.
So you're okay with people not crediting all of a sudden on some
usually just a credit's great. Just because it's part of, I do it for bands, right? And to, hopefully I can, it might lead me to some other work or some other relationship down the road. But yeah, having that's nice. Now, when it gets to a place of hey, I'm going to come in for my free portrait session and can you do this and do that and do that because I need this for an album cover and then, let's dial back, Yeah, it's part of that. Here is this. It started out as I'm documenting these awesome musicians that have come through Mile, and that's how it started out. And I think that's what it is. But yeah,